Hi, my name is Aaron,
And I'm Christian.
and this is Brain 10, where we brainstorm and talk about 10 ideas each 3 to 4 times per week, typically about small business, tech, or social media. Today's episode is 10 ways to make your website stand out on the web.
Pop out.
All right. So let's just want to make sure that my sound, okay, sound is good. All right, so we'll go ahead and get on with number one. I think Christian has number one.
Numero uno. Yes, I do. So number one is SEO. Right. So SEO is, for me at least, it was I don't know. And we were talking about this earlier. For me, it was an obscure topic. It's like one of those things where you can search up on it online and they'll kind of tell you how to do it, and you kind of have an idea of what it is.
Right.
But basically, I mean, it's just, every time you search something on Google, whether that is a single word or a phrase or sometimes a question, you want to make sure that your website is the one that pops up, the first 3 or 4, because a lot of people don't even look past, the first 2. So you want to make sure that you're at least on that first page. And if you're in that first page, you want to make sure that you're in the top 3,
Okay.
and that's what SEO is,
So what exactly, what does that stand for, SEO? I mean, that's an acronym for something, obviously.
Right. So it's search engine optimization.
Okay. And I want to dig just one layer deeper. I mean, we're not going to go too in depth, but if you want to kind of explain somehow or some way that people can become more SEO or search engine optimized for the web.
Right. So the number one thing that, and this is everywhere online, it's, start blogging. Blogging is the number one source for you to get out there as far as SEO.
Okay.
With the fact that it is with blogging, you can have those certain keywords that people are searching for. You can add them more easily to your website. If you don't want to do blogging thing, then you want to make sure that your About Me, that your testimonials page, that all these pages in your website have those certain keywords that that people are searching for.
Cool. All right. So yes, definitely SEO is the backbone to making your website stand out. All right. So number 2 is social media. And I think that this is important because social media is, it's been around for a while, but it's a new concept in the sense that it's still a baby. Social media started, with MySpace, started getting out there like 05 or 06, but it's been around for 10 years. And Google now uses that, like hashtags and those words, as something that they crawl for their SEO. So using your name or tweets about your stuff, your content that's on social media is now searchable on Google. So if you have a Twitter page or if you have a Facebook page and people are constantly going to that page, this makes you move up higher in the rankings. So your website may be number 1 if somebody searches for you, and your Twitter page or your Facebook page is number 2. So this is just another opportunity for someone who doesn't know you to find you on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I've searched, for, different companies, and sometimes you search for a specific company, say, a beauty shop in, somewhere in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That same thing, usually number 1 would be, their website. And then
Right.
number 2, 3, or 4 is usually, if they're active on social media, it will be their social media platforms, either that be Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, any of that stuff. So yeah, definitely social media. It's a great way to, going back to a number 1, a great way to rank on your SEO.
Mm-hmm. And it's a lot easier content to do as well. Like, I mean, there's only so much you can change about your About Me page, but you can always create new content or a tweet about something. You can always reach out to somebody, and that's your name and your brand out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Now, social media on your website, we're talking about basically putting the links. So make, how like some websites have it on their side, or
Right.
maybe on the top or on the bottom. where it has like, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff.
Right.
Now, would you recommend? I mean, where would you? Is there a preferred place to put these?
Well, okay, so it really differs on your industry. So if you're going in, it's like a landing page basically, and you're selling a product or a service basically. You don't want to have any social media on that landing page within your website or externally from your website if it's linked in some way, because you want them to sell and you want to sell that item there. So anything that can distract them, your sales will decrease. But it is good to have it on a footer, on a header, to just let people know to connect with you, because with Facebook advertising and Twitter advertising, Instagram advertising, they may go away from your page. They may not have been interested anymore, but they go to your page, and with the cool retargeting stuff on Facebook, you can, get those people back. The only thing that I would say is that if you are on Facebook and you're active, put it on there. If you're on Twitter and you're active, put it on there. But if you have Instagram and you're like, oh, I just want to make sure that I put the Instagram picture on my website because it's going to look cool, don't do it if you're not active on there. Because if you don't have content to show them and it's fresh content and you're not actually putting out your quality, then it doesn't matter. So in this point, quality matters over quantity. You want to make sure that you're still providing that value. And I think that's an overarching theme for what we'll talk about later. But long answer short, it can be it's a catch-22. So it can be positive in the sense that you take them away and allows them to like your Facebook page and you can connect with them, grow them as a customer. Or it could be a negative sense if you're really on putting them on a landing page and you're trying to sell something specifically on that page. You don't necessarily want it right there in their face.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
All right. I think that moves us on to number 3.
Yes. So number 3, it's something that's very simple, and everyone nowadays, and I think the majority of the people nowadays actually view websites through mobile devices. And when we talk about mobile devices, we're not just talking about cell phones, we're talking about tablets too.
Right.
And those really big cell phones that look like tablets, but they're not really tablets.
Yeah, those Note 2s and 6s and whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, you want to make sure that your website is mobile friendly. So when we talk about mobile friendly, is make sure that's mobile optimized. So you don't want to have the same structure of your website on the desktop on your mobile. You want to make sure that those the menu and the buttons and all that stuff scales down to that smaller screen for the smaller screens, basically.
So other than it being appealing to people that it's smaller and it's easier to read on your cell phone, is there any other benefits? Like, why else should I jump on to being mobile optimized besides the fact that it would help customers see it better?
Well, I know Google recently changed their algorithm to favor sites that optimize to mobile whenever someone's viewing from a phone or a tablet. So again, this goes back to SEO and social media. You want to make sure that you're basically playing by the rules in order to get out there and be in people's faces.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, number 4 is quality graphics. So there's really not much other than the simplicity of this. It needs to be appealing for the customer's eyes. So if you have a pixelated image, or if you have an image that doesn't load, which we'll talk about a little bit later, that's actually another segue. But if the image is pixelated or it doesn't have high quality, I know I personally don't associate that company with being reputable or secure, because it just doesn't give you that sense of security that the images or that the website is going to be high quality. If I'm going to go there and purchase an item, for example, if I'm going to that boutique you're talking about in Texas, if I go in to look at the images and the models are wearing the clothes, but it's all pixelated, one, I can't really define this myself as, what the image would look like on me or whatever else. But obviously these are the boutique
This
is
is funny. Yeah, you're talking about a boutique, like you're gonna go shop.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a male boutique, just to clarify.
Okay.
But if the images aren't good, or if it doesn't, allow me to visualize it, then I'm not going to be turned on it. The content can be the best ever. I could get to the website, but if it doesn't allow me to view it, or really make it realistic with the quality, then I'm just going to jump out of there anyway and go find it somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. And another thing is, like, a lot of these newer, website designs and templates that are out there, they use big images. They use,
right.
That's big right now. It's the use of those big, large images for your website. So, and videos too. So we're talking about videos and images. You want to make sure that, everything looks crispy clean. And the other thing is, like, screens are coming out, with better and better resolutions every year.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that you're keeping up with, the screens too. Even with my Mac, I know my Mac is a Retina display, and there's certain applications and programs that are not up to date for the Retina display, so they look blurry and pixelated. And you want to make sure that you're doing the same thing with your website. Make sure that it's not blurry or pixelated.
Cool.
Number 5.
Yep.
Moving on. It's content and value. So basically, you want to make sure that you're providing the value to your audience. We always say quality over quantity. So, in order to make sure that your website stands out from the rest, what comes to mind is, anyone who offers any kind of service. If you offer those tips and tricks, here and there, maybe you have a blog, or maybe you offer some, YouTube tips every Friday or something, that's going to be more appealing. It's going to make it stand out a lot more than some, other website that provides the same service, but at the same time, they're not out there in front of you, teaching you certain things, giving you value before you even make a purchase.
Right. And I think that's like, it also jumps back, now that I'm thinking about it, like the content, if it's rich in content and you are just taking people to like the blog or something like that, the more clicks that it gets, then Google says, hey, this is good stuff. We're going to show this to more people. And I feel like more people would share that content. So you can always have something that, if your blog's shareable, or, they're putting that on social media, getting back to the other aspects, the content's going to be shareable. So you put that out there, and then they're like, oh, let me check this out, and send more traffic to your website. So the content, if it's quality anyway, will share and, spread like wildfire, really.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said that was number 5, so number 6. All right, so load time for your websites on desktop and mobile. We have a note here that we are in an impatient society. So if you have slow internet, that's bad. But if your website, yeah, okay. So if you have a website that doesn't load, you just automatically get frustrated. We want something like now. It's the on-demand economy. We want things to load. So if you have those huge images, make sure that they're the right quality, or the right download, I guess, would it be. So like a PNG or a JPEG or something. So make sure that they're high quality, but they load quickly. And there's tools out there to check how fast your website loads, as well as like there was one other way that you could do it, just like the way that it stands out, basically, to load certain images on different browsers. But if it takes longer than, I think, 4 seconds, don't quote me on that, then the average user just jumps off of there. So it has to load. It has to show them the content that they're interested in, or they just get frustrated and they're out of there.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, you have to, I know we talked about quality graphics, but at the same time, you have to think about, you don't want to have an image that is, so high quality that it takes, 30 seconds to load on your website. So you want to make sure they have that quality, and you have that quickness of loading on different browsers and on different speeds too. So because not everyone's on that super duper Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
I'm over here with like satellite internet and
right, 50 kilobytes an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so moving
7.
on to 7. So 7, it's a product that we've used a lot, and we talked about it in a few other videos. I'm pretty sure. It's called Sumo Me, and they offer a lot of tools. They offer a lot of tools that you can install to any website, and these tools basically they enhance your website. They make sure that you get leads. They make sure that some other ones, for example, there's one tool in specific. It's called heat maps, and heat maps, it's completely invisible to the customer when they go into your website, but you have access to heat maps, and you can see where people are clicking on your website. So it tells you specifically, people are actually clicking on this button right here at the top, or people are clicking on, the services page more than the testimonials page, or whatever. Basically, heat maps allows you to see where the customers are clicking. That's just one product or one tool
Right.
that Sumo Me offers. They offer is it like 8 or 10 right now, and they're always updating and always refreshing their products. They're improving and upgrading.
I think sorry. So I think the way that like the heat maps helps your website stand out, just to kind of answer that question with heat maps, is like, if you know that Christian writes this awesome blog and the content's amazing and a bunch of people are looking at it and it's down like at the bottom of your blog site, you can move it to somewhere that's going to get more traffic too. So if it's a high quality item, then you can put it into more people's eyes. You find out, ooh, this product's selling really well. I'm going to put that on the front page, and it's just more appealing. It helps you stand out in that sense.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely encourage everybody to go and check out their products. All the basic features are free, and I think we still have to say that we are not affiliated with them. Maybe in the future, but we do love their products.
Yeah, exactly. They offer the free versions, and I believe, they do offer free versions or no?
Yeah, everything's free for just the basic stuff.
Right, and then everything includes their logo and all that stuff. But then when you pay for the pro versions, that's when you can get rid of logos, customize a lot of their products and all that. So.
More customer support and stuff like that. Yeah. So, very easy to install on your website too. So anybody who doesn't have that kind of software, definitely check it out. All right. Moving on to number 8. So keep it simple. And we just, the acronym KISS, it just keeps coming up. So all of this comes down to, if you have so much stuff that's going on your website right now, like, a button about, hey, here's the social media, or here's a button about, learn more, and here's 3 different buttons about our products and services and everything. Like, as soon as the page loads, you're visually disoriented. You have no idea what's going on. And when the user gets confused, they just leave the page. So it's better to load the content, give them 1 or 2 things to, process, and say, oh, this is a good image. This is exactly what I was looking for. Look more and click on that item. And this is simple for everybody. You don't know the, demographics of all your people, but it's just us as humans. We like to process. We can only process so many things. So the simpler it is on your website, the lower the bounce rate you'll have.
Yeah. I don't think there's much else to say on that except for, just keep it simple.
Right. Apply it for everything. This is social media, blog, whatever. You can have great content without going too much into it. But yeah, not very much else to say with that one.
Yeah. But with that, it comes, number 9 comes in that too, which is, make sure that you have one call to action above the fold. So the fold is whenever you first load a website, it's that content that shows right there, that your home page, the first thing that that person's going to see when your website loads. And you want to make sure that you, again, keep it simple. So you want to make sure that you have maybe one call to action in there. So what that means is maybe you're trying to get email subscribers, but you're offering so-and-so products and all that stuff. You want to make sure that if your intent and purpose is to increase your email subscription, then you want to make sure you have a big visible, button right there that says, subscribe. Put your email here and subscribe.
Right.
You'll want to have the subscribe button and then a check this out over here, and then 6 more buttons on the left side to check your other 6 products that you're selling. Because that confuses the customer, and they end up scrolling down or not doing anything, not clicking on anything. Again, one call to action. You want to keep it simple.
All right. And number 10, I think some people may know this and some people may be surprised by this, but the color scheme, it matters. So depending on your business, are you putting off the right color scheme for what you're selling? So for example, like I'm just reading off here, like red is for energy. It's increases the heart rate. Blue creates sensation. Black is for like market luxury products. So you can see that depending on the color scheme that you use and your demographic or what your product you're selling or services you're selling, the audience is going to feel something different. This is subconsciously. So if you have a black website and you want people to feel like, urge to buy something, like this is a major sale, and you don't use any red, then you're losing customers and you don't stand out to those people because that's just not appealing to what the actions that you're trying to portray on the website are doing.
Right. Another thing that comes to mind when you talk about color scheme, I think what you talked about is some of the psychology of colors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also make sure that your colors match.
Right.
I don't know if you ever noticed this, but a lot of movie posters,
mm-hmm.
action movie posters, they use 2 colors, predominantly 2 colors. It's orange and blue.
Why?
And if you look at this, and they use it a lot, and it's because on the color wheel, these are the colors that are opposite to each other, and they usually work really well. So if you look up, movie posters on a lot of the action movies like Mission Impossible, Guardians of the Galaxy, you'll see those, the predominant colors is, obviously, a darker black or, but you get that orange and then you get that blue.
Huh.
And it's because they work well together. So on the color wheel, the colors that are opposite to each other usually mesh and work really well. And if you don't really want to mess with any of that, you can always go with the neutral, black, white, brown colors.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I was thinking of, there was a number 11 I was trying to think of, but if it doesn't come to me, then that's fine. All right, I think that is it for this episode. Again, my name is Aaron.
And I'm Christian.
And this is Brain 10. This was episode 13, 10 ways to make your website stand out. And if you've gotten this far, would you please, if you're watching this on Blab or even YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yeah, wherever he's pointing there. We need to get to 100 subscribers so our URL does not look crazy. We would like to just have it as a / our company name, Bit Branding, which you can also find that on YouTube if you are watching this as a Blab replay. All right. Anything else you need to add?
No, I think that's all. Thank you for watching.
Yep.
And please subscribe and keep watching.
Thanks, guys. All right. Sorry. One last thing. If you are seeing this part of the replay or go to the end, all of our show notes are on YouTube, so you can copy the content that we use. All right. Thanks, guys.